I like goblins. You like goblins. Probably if you clicked on that video. At this point I've done concept art, illustration, miniatures and some jokes about them. I think it's time to make a tarot deck, but with goblins. I'll start with the first three on the list: the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess. A little history about tarot decks. Grab a crystal ball and let's make some tarot cards with ink and watercolor. I mean, you don't have to, but I will. So let's get started. Before we start, just a reminder, my goblin chefs and piggies from the Goblin Kitchen project that I did here on YouTube are now available on MyMiniFactory. I left a link below. Shameless plug done. Now back to the tarot cards. The history of these rectangles originates in Italy. Mamma mia! In the 1430s by adding a fifth suit to the already existing four. These 21 specially illustrated cards were called Triumphi or Triumphs, and an odd card called Il Matto, or as you might know it better, the Fool. The standard modern tarot deck is based on the Venetian or the Piedmontese tarot. It consists of 78 cards divided by two groups: Major Arcana, which has 22 cards, and Minor, that consists of 56. So what I'm getting from this is, in the beginning, people were getting bored from the standard deck of cards. So they decided, why not add more? I'm sensing that history repeats itself. Just look at how popular Commander is. Magic the Gathering reference. Give tarot cards, let's say 350 years, and now we're in France. The year is 7080 and they thought, remember this old card game with strange pictures on the cards? The illustrations on them have enough stuff that we might start telling stories based on what random cards we pull at that moment. We can call it fortune telling, and voila! People would give us money to hear how they would find the love of their life or get the dream job they always thought they have the potential for, and how they have to subscribe to the Creative Platypus channel to prosper. I poke a little fun at that, but it's kinda interesting to see how something, given enough time, could become something more than it was, if enough people believe it is. History lesson done, it's time to create some art. I'll start with the Fool, and this time I don't mean me. First I had to think about the frame and the title of the card, because I'm going to draw it over and over. Simple but effective it is then. For the illustration itself, I'm going to take inspiration from the Arthur Edward White tarot deck. It's maybe the most famous one today. Gives me cool retro vibes, I even have it at home. I love cards, what can I say? Starting with a pencil is going to help when I inevitably make some mistakes, so I start with that before inking. A happy, unassuming goblin with an equally happy pig walking to a cliff. What happens next? No idea. The Fool generally means new beginnings and getting into them with no worries. It's kinda useful. As a person who tries to learn new stuff all the time, and being okay that I would be bad at first is something that I could relate to. Moving on to inking after I have things in place. And to be honest, at this point I play it by the ear. I don't have a particular system. I just rely on having done that a lot of times. But it's always very rewarding when you start seeing details and getting closer to what you had in mind. When I'm finished with that part, I grab a brush and put some solid darks to make some cast shadows. It gives the drawing a bit more depth and contrast. Time for the title. I didn't have a particular font in mind, so I just made sure it's readable. Once everything is nice and dry, some color is in order. For this kind of illustration, I tend to keep it simple, because the ink is doing a lot of the heavy lifting and it looks a bit old-timey, which I enjoy really much. There you go, we have a goblin full. Next on the list is going to be the magician. He takes the potential from the fool and brings some willpower into the mix. So that's the next step of the journey, I guess. You gotta make them reps, bro. For the illustration, I followed the same steps as for the fool. I make a sketch with a pencil to design the thing. Here I was inspired by my own illustrations I did of a goblin wizard, and also I put all the arcana suits, symbols, whatever you call them, in the illustration. The idea here is that he has all the tools and power he needs for the things he wants to do. These apparently are a wand, a sword, a cup and a pentacle. What more could you need in life than a pentacle and a sword? I actually kinda agree with that. Yeah, maybe a pencil or two just to be able to draw stuff. Just a suggestion, magician. And I think the vines were important somehow, but since we're talking goblins, I kind of forgot. This time I did the title first before the brush part with the black stuff, cast shadows and or give it life with some color and we have a goblin magician ready to do the hard work. The third and the final one for this video is going to be a girl goblin for a change, the High Priestess to be exact. In my version I wanted to make her a bit more shamany-like, because goblin. And there are normally 2 pillars on each side that I switched in my case with a nice tree and what Kraska calls, when I draw such a tree, a zombie tree. Duality of nature, things are complex, blah blah blah, be patient, learn stuff as much as you can, and judging by her face, don't make her angry or angrier. I thought it'd be nice if she sits on a big tree instead of a throne, so you can see a big tree under her. The title here was so much longer. I had to be careful to put everything in there. When it was time for color, I tried to make it look a bit like it's nighttime, mainly with the sky. I know technically everything should be darker, but remember, old-timey. Here is the Goblin High Priestess. 3 down, now I have only like 19 to go. From the major arcana at least, we'll see if I do the minor. Another fun project to look forward to. I'll definitely scan them and make them into real cards, which means I have to design the backs. Problem for another day and another video. For now, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, you could watch my other videos. Sometimes the gods bless you in the morning and curse you in the afternoon. Bye!